All right. Might get a little bit of traffic noise in this video. Even if you listen really close, you might even hear the birds singing. It's such a beautiful day. I got the windows open. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to tear apart some shocks. So I got my little stand here, and they have these little holes built into them, and the shocks work out pretty well in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to try our best to get this thing taken apart and see what I can do about showing the disassembly of this unit here. I'm going to try and see if I can zoom in just a little bit, make it just a little easier. All right, so it comes with this little shock tool right here, which fits the nut that's built into the shock just perfectly, just like that. All right, and they say you just hold this like that, and then take another tool and slide it into the top of the housing, and then rotate them apart. There you go, just like that. And it just loosens it up. It doesn't take much. Now this thing should have oil in it. I haven't opened it in 30 years, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's dry. But we're gonna find out how this looks. Unscrew it nice and easy. Well, there is oil in it, so that's pretty good. Yep, look at that. All right, so it was some oil. All right, we got a little gasket right there around the threads to keep that sealed up. Put that over there. So there is that. Okay, awesome stuff. We'll push this piston up and see if we can push any more oil out. Oh yeah. All right, that should come out, which it does. Put that back in the holder for now. So here is the piston with the piece up on top there. I should have brought some towels with me. Got one here. We'll dry that off, get some of the oil off of it so we can work. Because even if this piston may be good, I don't know. But I got new ones, and we're going to put new ones on it. So got some little tools here so we can get a hold of the E-clip and pull it off. It is slick because of the, there it is right there, because of the oil. And then that comes right out. So there's that piston. Like I said, I got brand new ones. I bought some shock rebuild kits. And then there's one more E-clip because the piston is sandwiched between them. So we'll just grab a hold of that and pull that out. Another E-clip right there, and then the push rod. All right. Go back to the casing, and I'm only videoing this one. All these shocks are going to be rebuilt the same way. The only difference is the length of the shock, front shock, rear shock. Other than that, there's also a little piece in the bottom of this, in this piston. You put a little piece of tubing in it to keep it from bottoming out. But that's it. This looks good on the inside. I don't see any scarring. Since they're all anodized, you'll be able to see that pretty easily. Now you got to pull the rest of it out from the bottom. There is a little split ring inside here that you got to take out. I'm just going to use a pick to get a hold of it and pop it out. It's not too terrible. The only problem you got to be mindful about if you need to reuse them is not letting this thing get away from you and get slung across the room. They do make a set of pliers to do this with, which does make it a little bit easier, but unfortunately I let someone borrow them, and now my split ring pliers are somewhere else. So the other thing you can do is you can sit this down, grab two picks, and go at it from both sides, and then sometimes that'll be easier to do. The main thing again is to try and hold on to that. Now in my rebuild kit I'm not too worried about it because I got a couple of extra ones, so that's not going to be an issue for me. The biggest issue is trying to do this with as much oil that is still on this thing. It's outrageously slippery. Alright, and like I said, shot someplace within the vicinity. It is gone, but we'll get a flashlight and a magnet and we'll look for it and find it in a little bit. Without any further ado, there is a little nylon gasket right there. So you pull that out. Right there, we got that. Then you have some O-rings. There's one there. There should be two sets in this with a little separator nylon piece. Again, be very careful if you're using a pick to get these out, because you don't want to scar up the aluminum sidewalls. These pieces, if I pick at them and mess them up, I'm not worried about it too much. I've got a repair kit, but I don't want to have to change out the shock body. So there's the spacer in between there, and then there's another O-ring right there, and then should be one more little nylon piece way down in there, and this is where these little pick sets come in handy. There you go. So it's right there. And then that shock body is empty and good to go. And then you can pick up I got some cleaning swabs, so I can go down in here and clean it out and get all the oil and the junk and everything out of them and clean them all up just like they're brand new again. So there we go. Alright, so that's how you disassemble one of those. Like I said, I can't believe there was that much oil still left on it. It's pretty cool. Let me get this organized a little bit and I'll be right back. Alright, so found all the pieces, and this is them in the correct order of how they go back together. We have the look at that, zoom works pretty good. Of course now I have to move some of my stuff, but that's not a problem. So we have the cap, and then the little gasket that went between the cap and the threads here, and then all of this went together. It was this piston shaft with two E-clips and two little ring grooves and the piston in between them. And that slides down into here, and then butted up in the bottom of this was one little small nylon gasket, a red O-ring, a nylon spacer, another red O-ring, the top nylon gasket, and then the split ring, which, as you can tell, I found. So, but all this comes in a shock repair rebuild kit. Everything, I'm not sure if it comes with the actual piston. I know these pieces are not in it, but I think all of those are, and if this isn't, that's not a big deal, but I know all of those are in there. So I'm going to rebuild these, and I'm going to put some new oil in them, and then we'll be ready to put them back on the vehicle, and I'll have some rebuilt shocks that'll work a heck of a lot better than these did. I'm still can't believe there was still oil in them. That's pretty remarkable. All right.